You know, I actually did a video today talking about Stadia on the
Oh,
LTT channel, believe it or not. So it's as crazy as it sounds, okay? Luke, here's the thing. You can't buy a graphics card.
how-
So
okay. So were you going over like different services that you can use?
so that's the premise of the video. We tried all of the ones that were reasonably attainable to get access to. Shadow Tech is technically a thing, but their
I
waitlist
was
is
gonna
super
ask.
long. And they're like,
Okay,
whether or not they're actually rolling out new servers and taking on new customers seems sort of questionable at best right now.
right.
So we tried all the main ones. We run through the pros and cons. We talk about sort of the latency responsiveness of them and boil it down to what we think is a solid recommendation for gamers who want a game but don't want to spend, an extra. I think what it worked out to was I looked at the average sell price for an RTX 3070 on eBay compared to Nvidia's published MSRP, and the difference was $850. And when you think about that, that's a lot of money, obviously. But then you drill into it and it's like, no, that is a lot of money. That is the difference between buying an RTX 3070 and a 3080. That is the difference between buying an RTX 3070 for yourself and your SO and buying just one for yourself.
That's the difference between buying a high-end card like 6 years ago or not buying a graphics card at all.
That's the difference between feeding a scalper and buying yourself a game streaming service for 5 years.
That's actually what I was just gonna say. Is that gap is probably enough that like if you just sell your current card, use the money from that to power a game streaming service, which I don't like this, to be completely clear. And everyone watching that has been watching for a while probably knows that. I'm just putting it out there just because someone else might. You
Yep.
can sell your current gaming card and ride on that until hopefully, oh my goodness, hopefully the silicon shortage goes away.
And we danced around that particular suggestion of just, effectively scalping your current card and then riding on cloud gaming until it's
Could be a terrible idea.
time to rebuy it at half the price or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm sure people will, come up with their own optimization strategies in terms of how to weather the current climate.
And that, sorry.
And I'm not gonna lie, if I didn't say, that kind of thing would definitely have occurred to the me who didn't have easier access to hardware, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a totally valid strat, right? And
Good risk.
that could be a net benefit to people who are trying to get their hands on a graphics card. If we got a glut of supply from people that are just like, you know what? It, I'm out, right? I'm out. I'm going to cloud gaming. That could actually help things return to a degree of normalcy, is what I would say if I didn't believe that the supply situation was going to become even worse in the coming months.
Yeah, and that's what I was just going to say is like that strat might also just leave you in a few years with none of that money still remaining and graphics cards being in an even worse or just as bad spot, and now you're just stuck.
I think in a few years, it's unlikely that we will still be in the situation we're in today, but I would be surprised if it's cleared up in a year, is
And I
what I'll
think the
say.
pricing ramifications might stay. I kind of suspect
Ooh.
manufacturers going to take advantage of that personally.
I wish I could say that I wish I could say I disagree, but I don't know if I can do that. I think in the longer term, it will return to normal. You look at hard drives, for example, they've had a lot of downward pricing pressure since they shot up around the time of the Thailand floods.
Yeah.
But with that said, hard drives have also been overall a declining product category, whereas graphics cards, I don't think gaming is losing any popularity anytime soon. So they just might not be under the same kind of pressure. And now that this new normal has been established where a high-end graphics card it starts at, $1,300 for not even the top tier, we might be stuck with something similar for a long time. Our only hope, go freaking figure, is if Intel storms into the gaming GPU space and is legitimately competitive. Can you imagine that? Scrappy underdog Intel, because in that space they would be, coming in and restoring competition to a market that's dominated by a monopoly or duopoly. What timeline are we on, Luke?
A bad one.
I don't even know anymore. I can't play this game anymore. It's not fun.